Now, hear me when I say this. This is what's the conversation that men love unconditionally and women love conditionally, meaning that a man can see a woman and no matter what walk of life she comes from, and no matter not only what walk of life she comes from, he can be a billionaire and he'll marry a nanny.
Right. Yeah.
Because they love unconditionally. They'll look at you and love you and marry you however you are. However, it's different when it comes to a woman. A woman loves conditionally. And the reason why I say that is because y'all ain't gotta like it. It's the truth. It's the truth. And let me prove your conditions. Would you marry someone if you had the bag and they didn't have the bag, but they had what you needed emotionally?
Yeah.
I know somebody right now, one of my best friends in the world, him and his wife, that's them. They got married, have been married for 25 plus years. She has always been the bag, and he has always been that support. That's rare. I'll say 90% of you all sitting in the room, you wouldn't.
I don't really know if this is my last time, but what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail, you see the link. Here's my opinion on this. Money and unconditional love is different from unconditional love, okay? And in our society, we like to play this game, this unconditional love game, where we don't want to admit the truth. And the truth is this, just in my opinion, most people aren't taught to love unconditionally. Most people are taught to get something out of another person, whether it's money or sex, depending on the gender. And sometimes it's both, depending on the agenda of the people who raised you, or the family and friends you gravitate to, and they give you these lessons on life and relationships. But men normally, in general, love unconditionally when it comes to money with women. You don't have to be, you don't have to be six figures. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. Like women, you have to, it's in general, it's like women are like, I need a guy with money, who makes money, who has a lot of money, or, I'm gonna love him if he has all the stuff that I can benefit off of, or benefit from. So that's different. If you don't have these things, I don't love you that much. And truth be told, when they say money can't buy you love, it really can't. Money could lease it for a longer term, but it can't buy, right? So that's an issue for most people. That's a huge issue for most people. But with me, it's kind of one of those situations where you got to ask yourself a question. And normally the question is this: what is your thought? How are you taught unconditional love? Because sometimes we're looking for a fantasy, and this is what I mean in this sense. Some of us want unconditional love from the person that we want. We might have received or be receiving unconditional love from somebody who actually loves us and cares about us, but that might not be the person that we want when it comes to like the dating process. This man might love you regardless of who you are. Passionate, compassionate, loving, forgiving, patient, all the things. But that's not who you really want, so it doesn't count. You get what I'm saying? So, and you're looking for unconditional love from the person you want, and you're not receiving that, and then it becomes an issue. Like, oh, unconditional love isn't what it used to be. No, you getting it, or you've had it. It's just not from who you wanted it from. That's the difference. So, people got to deal with that. People got to live with that. People got to actually take that, deal with that whole process. And the other thing about like the money part of it, here's interesting to me. Here's what's really, really interesting to me. A lot of folks, and I say it in the female sense, and I may be wrong because I can't speak for women per se, but we don't necessarily, as men, we don't necessarily love women unconditionally. We love them we'll give a woman unconditional love depending on how attractive she is, and how much of a simp we'll be for her looks. And unconditional love has a time limit with some people. I love you unconditionally with the money. When the money run out, I don't love you no more. I love you unconditionally when you're fine. If you're not fine, I don't love you no more. Or I love you unconditionally because of your money or your attractiveness, but I don't like your attitude, so I can only love you unconditionally, but so long because you're getting on my nerves. That's what's been going on, right? So people like to play this game about, the need or the want, I should say, for unconditional love. And it's not real. It's not real. It's just, and it's weird because in general, I'm not talking about the people in the clip, but in general, what I've witnessed is superficial people want unconditional love, or materialistic people want unconditional love. You get what I'm saying? Or insecure people want unconditional love. And it's like, pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. It's not going to, nothing's going to stay. So a lot of times it's looked at from an idealistic lens, like, in a perfect world, this is how it should be. But we don't live in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world, rather. And people aren't perfect. And people don't do the right thing, And I'm going to say this other thing about unconditional love. Some people want unconditional love because they're on demon time. They're always doing the wrong thing. So they want unconditional love because they want an infinite amount of forgiveness because they're not going to do right by anybody. They're just going to do wrong by people. So you need to love me no matter what I do. And that is trifling. The love me no matter what I do scenario is disgusting. And that's, and wanting that as unconditional love is problematic. That's very problematic, So now, looking at it, it's like, and there's no way to say this nicely, but a lot of times this is one-sided. Even if you want unconditional love, you want it. That doesn't mean you're gonna give it. I want unconditional love, but that don't mean I'm gonna give you unconditional love. I'm gonna love you to the capacity that I can love you, but I want you to love me, through it all, which is selfish. It's trifling, it's selfish, and I'm just saying from what I've seen, in my years as an adult. So, unconditional love and money, it's a different. That's a fantasy unconditional love, just in my opinion. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.